Hi everybody, it's Dara, and I'm here with a special guest friend of mine, Heath.
Hey.
Ellis.
Nice to see you.
Business advisor extraordinaire.
Thank you.
I love what you put as your Instagram tagline.
Energetic business advisor and spiritual co-CEO.
Co-CEO.
For you and your life.
Think about that, you guys. So Heath has been helping me with my business. My life and my business are snapping into shape rapidly. And we met, not because of that, we met through astrogeography.
Yeah.
So do you want to tell?
Yeah. December was my 19-year anniversary living in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of knew that I was ready for some change. I didn't know if it was permanent change or temporary vacation kind of change.
Mm-hmm.
And I had come across your tool through like a newsletter from Lacey, the To Be Magnetic newsletter.
This is so he came across the Intro to Astrogeography life tool.
Yeah. And I had remembered that. And so as I was starting this like process of like picking different cities and traveling, I was like, I wonder how this tool might help me in this process. And so I really just I wanted to book a session with you, but like my time zones were off and I was all around, and I was like, I'm just gonna buy this tool and see like if I can figure it out. And then I thought I was gonna spend 10 minutes in it, and I ended up felt like I was having like a party at your house or something. I was like just watching your videos for like 4 hours. I was just like kind of getting into different layers of
and looking
truth,
different.
really. Was the reason that I spent so much time was because I was kind of looking at my past through the lens of astrogeography, and it was just like everything was lining up. So
I love that.
It was really crazy.
Looking at your past through the lens of astrogeography means that, so for those of you who don't know, astrogeography is the astrology of place. So there's certain places on this planet that are extraordinary for you, supportive, lifting, expansive, and then there's some that are seriously challenging. And you can, with this life tool, look up yours, look up your children, look up and not only see what's going on for you, you can see what's going on for you and the other people in your life. And you can use it anytime that you want to, if you're thinking of traveling, if you're thinking of relocating, or if just you want to know what place has the best energy for you to do business. So you can communicate with people on that line and know where you should plant your business. Or anyway, so let's hear you talk about it, because
I have so many examples.
And he has such a cool outlook on this, and you've described it in ways that I wouldn't have thought to describe it. So
I just keep finding so many uses for it. So I was looking at the past, and I thought like, okay, where was I then? I was in New York, and I think the theme, I don't remember what the lines were, but the theme was like, you're kind of underwater and people can't see you for who you are, which kind of felt like my work life experience.
Right,
and
that's a Neptune line. And you can do all of this great work, but not be seen because you're like underwater.
Yeah, and I think I had just been like pushing up against that forever. Like I'm thinking, like, I'm good, I know. Like, but it just like wasn't landing, and like it landed. Like I would do really well when I traveled away. And so like, even though I was based in New York, I had amazing clients in California. I had amazing clients in Texas. I had amazing clients in all these different places. So, but I never really kind of put that together until I started like looking at the map with this tool. And just the way you have it set up, it's like, it's just like short videos. So you see your lines, and then it's like, okay, what does this mean? What does this mean? And then you go watch the video, and it gives kind of the description. So
you basically
look at different cities and then just go kind of scroll through these videos and see what each city meant for me, because it's different for every person, I guess. So.
It's your chart is your own chart. Nobody else has your astrogeography chart, just like your natal chart. So basically what you do is you learn, it's very easy, you learn how to look up your astrogeography chart, and then when you find a line that's interesting, for example, where you were born, where you're living now, where you're imagining of going, and then you say, okay, that's a Jupiter line, let me go watch the Jupiter video. It's that easy. It's a starter, it's an intro, but it allowed you to like navigate and figure out
Yeah,
what happened in the past.
It doesn't make me like an expert, but it just kind of opens the window to that energy. And so then I could like understand all my puzzle pieces that I already had. So it's just kind of like the missing link for all this other information that I had.
Yeah.
And like one of the bigger things, so I've got there's so many different ways that I was looking at it. Like the most obvious thing is, so I'm in a relationship, and it's a geographically complicated relationship.
Well put.
But we have such an amazing, like, energetic, spiritual, magical love connection. And so she lives in Stockholm. And so and that to me, it's kind of like the other side of the world. I'm like, why can't it be an easier person for me to date? And then I looked at the tool, and of course, like I immediately want to see like, what does that city mean for me? And my Venus line literally goes right through the middle of where she lives, and right in the area where she was born on the other side of the country. And so that really means like family, children, settling down, comfort, sensuality, all these different kind of beautiful feelings, and which I have with her, which now I'm kind of understanding why. It's like, okay, now it makes complete sense.
She's from your love line. Yeah. She's from your romance line. She literally is from there, and she is that. Like, she is so beautiful. Lena is love. So, so go ahead.
And I'd never even been to that part of the world before. Like, it wasn't even on my radar.
You met her in New York.
And I met her somewhere else.
So this happens, you guys. So if somebody's looking for love, you might want to start opening up the portal to, first you find out where your Venus line is, and then imagine that you don't necessarily have to go there. You might you're opening up the energy to the fact that you might meet somebody from there, somebody who does business there, somebody who has family from there. It does happen. I've heard it happen more than a number of times.
Yeah. That
people are in relationships or have been in relationships with people from their Venus line. You've had that also somewhere else too.
Yeah, and then when you look at business, it also like turned into like, I have a Jupiter line that goes kind of straight through the middle of the United States. And when I was thinking about like different business deals I had done and like different relationships, like there's two real amazing things that had happened in my old company that came to mind. And one was, I was sitting next to these people at a table. I don't remember where I was. It was kind of probably like in Florida or California or somewhere at a business conference. And like, they basically said like, hey, we want to borrow your chair. By the end of the night was over, like they had sat with me. I knew their whole family. We were good friends. And like within a couple of weeks, like they signed like a giant $1 million contract with my company.
Isn't that,
and
that's so very
which
Jupiter,
I always thought that was like just like such a magical experience. Like it happened so quickly. And it was so true. It like, we just like really connected. Yeah. And when I got into your course, I was like, of course that line goes straight where their company was.
Isn't that, that's
and then
so
I have
fun.
another story just like that.
Do
like
tell.
That's
a Jupiter midheaven line, I think it was.
Yeah, and I used to run a software company, and so I basically like got connected to like the head of like one of the top 10 Fortune 10 companies in the world on that line, and then it ended up this larger, very amazing kind of relationship for my business.
Did we say what your business is in the beginning of this video?
Oh, I don't think so. I used to.
Let's do it.
I started and ran a software company, but now I'm we did talk about it. Energetic business advisor.
I want to make sure, so let's just say it again in case. So Heath is helping me with my business, and everything has snapped into place in a really short time, like after 3 sessions. And I was so honored to be able to work with you, because the second that I met Heath, my intuition went, yes, like this guy, you've known him before, he's trustworthy, he has integrity, and that's true because I've seen how he operates and it's true. And I was like, I know you do work with big companies, but like if you ever have the notion or the inclination to like help me, I'm here. And so we did, and it's helped me so much. So I love how you call it a co-CEO.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of my previous life was bigger projects and bigger companies, but right now I'm kind of creating a new way to do business and starting off, I do businesses and like, companies like in the 10, 20, $30 million range, but then, and even bigger actually, but a lot of the work is like solopreneurs and people just like changing their creative self-expression in the world from like a corporate environment into like a one person or two person team.
Right? You told me astrogeography is so important, especially now, because
people are really moving out of like finding the power to move out of like restrictive corporate environments and like different like societal frameworks, and just kind of liberating their soul through business and creativity and travel. And that's what makes this tool so beautiful. So like I figured out all these like key milestones in my past experience that like the tool was like super on with, and so I was like, oh wow, I'm going to use this to figure out where I can go to like start my new LLC for my company, so that I can like be closer to this Jupiter line and get some of this Mars leadership line and do all these other kind of things, like just to, so that vibration just like resonates through the structure of my corporation.
Yeah.
And then I spent 3 months here in LA almost, which was, I have like a Sun and a Saturn and something
Pluto,
else.
and normally, but because this is how you can use it to your greatest benefit, because when we were on the phone talking about what your next move, it was
Restructuring
about
my business and launching.
restructuring your business and launching. So sometimes you need the explosion and transformation of Pluto to shake off whatever doesn't belong and just kind of leave the past behind, and kind of blow off all that Neptune energy. And Saturn is the best for building a structure. That's what Saturn does. And so Saturn and Pluto combined, it's not for the meek. It's definitely like an intense energy. But he also had the sun on the midheaven. I think it was sun on the midheaven. It was one of the sun angles, and that literally is being seen for what you do. So after all of this Neptune energy of like being underwater and not being seen and working so hard and being so excellent, I had the same experience. I was on a Neptune line for 10 years, and I just felt like I couldn't, like life was passing me by. Like where's the action? Where's the being seen? So the sun helped you be exposed for what you do, and people are loving and what he's up to. We're going to share your link below.
Awesome. And and it's like I met you at the grocery store. I ran into a
Just
couple
like
of other
that,
people in the
like-
neighborhood, on the beach. Like dogs start licking me, and then all of a sudden people are talking about work, and it's been really amazing.
Exposure here, and it's really so fun to have heard about the confirmations for your business, for your personal feelings and what goes on in different places, plus for your family, because the complicated family structure. You said something to me that was, you said this phrase that I just thought was so powerful. It took the emotionality out of it.
Yeah, because so I was having kind of a little emotional resistance about like moving to Sweden or being in Stockholm. I'm like, why do I need to go over there? Like, she's amazing, but what is the gap? Of course I would do anything, but then part of me just didn't understand like why that has to be, because it just, in my mind, it felt so far away.
And
but
frustrating.
then once I kind of started feeling into like, this is really the energy that I'm finding there, then it felt more of like, less of like, I have to go there to be with her, and more of like, oh, I want to be there and create a life in this beautiful energy with her.
Right. Like,
rather than like, oh, I gotta move, why don't you move?
Right.
It's kind of how
it's
it
like,
felt.
It's kind of like the nutrients of Venus, you get to like dive into them. You get to have those nutrients. So you come here for the nutrients of transformation and creation, which is Pluto, and you come here for discipline, which is Saturn, and structure, and to be seen, and come here and make videos with me, which I hope we do many more. And then you go to Venus to be with your love in the love nutrients, the planetary energies, because each planet has its own nutrients that we need from time to time. Sometimes we chose something intuitively because it's something that we need for our evolution, for our greatest good.
And it's just great because we're building this kind of evolutionary, traveling, expanding life together. Like we each have different families aside from whatever we're going to create together. So being able to understand like what those dynamics are for her there and here, and like I have a stepson from a previous marriage in New York, and then going all these other places, like I'm from Texas, and all these other energy there. So it's really interesting. Now I have this one other thing in Eastern Australia is my sun ascending, and like it's very clear on your in the tool set, like, okay, sun ascending is the world seeing you. This is like fame and you on the world stage, and just like really big kind of energy. I was like, I've never been to Australia. I don't know if that's like a thing for me. And then I was like looking deeper, and I have like a Jupiter line going around there somewhere too. and I'm launching a new project that's outside of my core business that's more focused on something else. And I had been kind of negotiating with someone online about like a domain and a brand name. And after we had kind of come to some arrangement, like I didn't know where this person was. And I was actually buying the brand name for my new project.
Wow.
From right in the middle of where that sun ascending line was. So it just like made me real, I was like, yes, this is super exciting.
So when you want to make a big deal or you want to be seen, you're looking for Jupiter or the sun, but it's all in the toolbox. And I just, when you told me, because here's like a businessman, like when you said, I thought I was going to spend 10 minutes in it and I was in there for 4 hours, I was like, oh, that just made me so happy. Because I really want everyone to really be able to get the information and use it. Like use it for yourself, use it for the people you know, and that just makes me very happy.
And it's very intuitive because I'm actually using it all the time, and I do it for my friends. And just I don't get super deep, but I can say like,
yeah, you might want to think about moving.
Yeah, like I have a friend that was like looking at jobs in different parts of the world, and like some were kind of iffy, but one was like right in between like a sun and Mercury. Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, go there. And he's like, you know what? I played professional hockey, field hockey in, somewhere in the north of France when I was 19, and it was like the best year of my life. And then this job was like really close to that. And I was like, go back. Like you're just a different person, but that energy will be the same.
Yeah.
So it was really amazing.
So you're the same person, but the place is different.
Yeah, like he's not a hockey guy anymore. He's like doing some other teaching. But I was like, that energy will support what he's doing now. He's literally going to move to like that area and take a job for like 2 or 3 months and see what happens.
I always think like I want to see a picture of the person in the place of their happiness. Like I can see, because I'm an intuitive and I do intuitive sessions for people, and I get visions of what they're going to look like or where or what they're going to be like in the place of their dreams, in the place that's supporting them. So I always like to see photographs of people once they get to their happy place. And so I think that this, for Heath, whether he does or doesn't help when he looks, when he helps his clients, he can, and you can, if you're in any way helping someone else, you can take a look. Because the first thing I do when I do a session with someone, there's a couple things I look for, but the first one is just to see what planetary energies that you're swimming in now, so we can rule out, so we can just know what you're dealing with, right? Like it's the first thing, like
part of the profile foundation. Yeah,
part of it. So I'm so happy we got to do this. Thank you so much. Is there anything you were thinking of saying, or we're good?
Yeah, no, you've made it so intuitive. Like
Thank you.
Really I'm doing it because I like it so much. It's like a fun thing. I'm just doing for all my friends because I'm like, oh my God, let's check this out. Like you should like, let's think about this. And then I kind of give them a taste. I'm like, you should go buy this for yourself. Because it's like, it's just fun to do. It's like really interesting to talk about and explore with people.
It really is. It's
because like everybody wants to travel. Everybody wants to like get places that have different supportive energy for them.
Yeah.
So it's great.
Yeah. And even if you can't move, you can sit in your most comfortable chair, and when you're done watching the videos, you can say, you know what, I'm gonna play with this. I'm gonna reach out to somebody on that Jupiter line, or I'm gonna start watching movies from that place. I'm gonna tap into that energy, and you can kind of, because I believe we're in the day and age where we don't really have to relocate, although that's great if we can also start opening up energy and making that energy come to us. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
You can just kind of like do all these different things
like
to bring in that vibration.
You can eat the food from that place. I have India has some Venus for me, and it's the only place that I can have Venus unobstructed by something challenging. And I love eating Indian food. It reminds me that I have a place on this planet to tap into love. So it's so nice to do this, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It's a great tool.
We'll see you soon.